talk about smashing it out of the park, the RackaRacka guys came out swinging for their feature directorial debut.
I'll do it.
Cannot go for more than 90 seconds. Am I clear?
What happens after 90 seconds?
Don't want to stay.
I expected to like this movie because I'm a massive fan of the RackaRacka guys, but I didn't expect it to be the best horror movie and my favourite movie of the year. Starring a cast of no one I really knew, they were terrifying, funny, realistic, all so good in their roles. Sophie Wilde, as our main character Mia, is in so much distress and goes through a real series of just shit in this movie, but portrays it so well, and we're quite literally put into her shoes for a lot of the time. We see it pretty much all from her perspective, and it does a really good job at getting us invested so that we pretty much feel everything that she feels. Seeing it from her perspective as well also allows the story to unravel in such an interesting way, leading to a truly great ending that I haven't stopped thinking about since I've seen it. The horror in this film is just really effective overall. It really takes its time with revealing and showing things throughout the film, and it's only an hour 35, but it did feel longer, but not in a negative way. I still wanted more of it. It's just a very slow-paced movie, but perfectly paced. We open the film very intensely, and then we just kind of sit with the characters for a while and just learn about these characters and who they are and what's going on in all their lives and their relations to each other and everything like that. And obviously we learn even more as we go on, but it builds such a strong foundation to get us invested in the world that by time they're fucking about with the hand, we're right along with them. And all of this setup is happening whilst, of course, slowly building to the more horrific shit. And when that hits, it hits hard. There is some really creative horror throughout this film, and as like an absolute horror neek, I had a blast with it, and I'm genuinely desperate to watch it again already. I've seen it twice in cinemas. I want to go back. The camera feels so alive. There is so much intent behind every shot and every movement that enhances everything. It felt like a combination of Sam Raimi and Ari Aster, and that is genuinely probably the best thing that I could say about anyone. Overall, the concept is pretty simple. A haunted object, people fuck with it and it goes wrong. We've seen it hundreds and hundreds of times, and we will see it hundreds and hundreds of times more. But tying this story to the grief of the protagonist and to the usage of drugs as well, drawing multiple parallels to multiple different places and themes, that's what makes it so interesting. That's what makes it so effective. It's not as simple as you may think. And like I say, the film really makes you care about everything that's going on and all of the characters involved. And with some truly creative sequences, it elevates itself in so many ways, and the film keeps itself grounded by being from Mia's perspective, and the usage of the hand as a physical representation of the themes is great. It's really all about connections with other people. Mia being desperate to find this connection with anyone. Her mum has passed away, and she's distant from her father, and all of these people in this friend group are just communicating through their phones more than anything else. She doesn't have any real connections, and as much as a lot of the other characters think they have through their phones, they're kind of just false connections, just through online, not anything serious. But whenever Mia is trying to talk in person to people and stuff, they're constantly distracted by these other connections that aren't in the real world. And then when Mia finds a connection through the hand, she obviously latches onto that, and it latches back onto her as well. I've got goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, it's a really smart movie, and I fucking loved it. Like, it's at 1 on my Letterboxd rankings right now for the movies this year. It's amazing. As I say, it doesn't rush into the horror. It spends quite a lot of time beforehand, but when it gets going, it doesn't really take its foot off the gas. I mean, the film opens with a shocking scene of someone stabbing their brother and then themselves in the face in very violent RackaRacka fashion, and then how that all loops back into how that connects to the characters that we've been following, and then also seeing that actually happen from Mia's perspective with this other group of people is fascinating and so interesting to piece the story together. That's why it's definitely worth more than one watch as well. That's why as soon as I came out of the cinema the first time, I knew I had to go back. When the hand is used again, I think it might be the second or third time they use it in the movie, and they let Riley use it, who is 15, and he just fucking bashes his head against the table, full force.
Nothing but fucking gas.
Head is just open, like blood is everywhere, and he just keeps going ham on his own head against this table, and it is traumatic. Oh my god, it is terrifying, it is brutal, and it is gory, and it is so good. I was honestly expecting this movie to go even harder with the gore because of, and I think it would have been cool if they did, because I'm a sucker for those gory practical effects. But the film has less than I would have expected, and that kind of makes it worse. It makes it more scary. It just feels like such an extreme. And it's from that point on that it goes full speed ahead, and it is like just the sound and the camera work and everything about it is immaculate. I'm really geeking out about this movie because it's made by YouTubers, and it's a genuine like fucking masterpiece to me. I love it so much. If I had any flaws, it is that the characters occasionally make questionable decisions. Like, I don't totally buy that Mia would have let Riley use the hand, like, he is fucking 15, and, like, things that we kind of have to look past for shit to go wrong. And I think, honestly, if we had a slight more representation of how it feels to use the hand, because there's obvious parallels to what it's like using drugs. Like, from the outside, it looks quite scary and terrifying, but, like, for them, they're fucking having this incredible ecstatic feeling. I think there's a specific drug it was based on. I don't remember the name. I think it was legal in America for like a week or some shit. But it was like exactly what this hand does to you. Not like seeing dead people, but incredibly brief moment of just pure highness. And they do present it pretty well, especially throughout this montage that just, yeah, they're smoking with the hand, like they're doing all sorts of shit, and it's funny, and it does bring you into this world, but I think maybe we could have had a bit of an extra showcase of that positive feeling that it gives you, because I do think it's a bit of a higher suspension of disbelief that Riley would be allowed to do it. It's not like a massive thing that ruins it for me, and it's not that I don't see it happening, but I think it could have been worked on slightly. But that's genuinely kind of it. Like, it's not a massive problem. This is an excellent movie. It's an even better horror movie. And go and watch it. Whether you're a horror fan or not, just go and watch it. And he just keeps going. It felt like a combination of